Chapter 4: The Seeker. As a young boy attending Sunday school, Elon Musk questioned the stories from the Bible, challenging the plausibility of events such as the parting of waters and the feeding of the crowd with loaves and fishes. His skeptical mind clashed with religious explanations, and he began to embrace a scientific perspective, dismissing the need for a creator or a deity to intervene in our lives. However, as he entered his teenage years, a feeling of emptiness stirred within him. The scientific and religious explanations of existence fell short in addressing the profound questions about the universe's origin and purpose. This led to what Musk calls his adolescent existential crisis, plunging him into a state of depression and a search for meaning. In his quest for answers, Musk turned to reading, digging into the works of existential philosophers like Nietzsche, Heidegger, and Schopenhauer. However, these deep, introspective explorations only intensified his despair. It wasn't until he discovered science fiction that his perspective began to shift. Science fiction books became his sanctuary, and Musk devoured everything he could get his hands on. Among his favorites was Robert Heinlein's The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, which contemplated the relationship between artificial intelligence and humanity. Another favorite was Isaac Asimov's Robot Stories, which explored the idea of robots with built-in safeguards to prevent them from becoming a threat to mankind. These science fiction tales laid the foundation for Musk's fascination with the possibilities of artificial intelligence and the intertwining of humanity and technology. They sowed the seeds of his belief that humans must extend their consciousness to ask the right questions about the universe and our place in it. One book that left an indelible impression on Musk was Douglas Adams's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The ingenious blend of humor and philosophical commentary provided Musk with a fresh perspective and helped him overcome his existential depression. He learned the importance of expanding consciousness to ask the right questions and appreciate the absurdity and wonder of the universe. The Hitchhiker's Guide, combined with Musk's immersion in video and tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons and Dragons, fueled his fascination with the idea that our reality may be an intricately designed simulation controlled by advanced beings. He embraced the notion that the secrets of the universe might lie in unraveling the meaning behind existence itself. During this time, Musk delved deeper into the world of computers. He acquired a Commodore VIC-20 and promptly completed a 60-hour course in basic programming in just 3 days. His passion for computers led him to attend a conference on personal computers, where he engaged with professors, proving his dedication and aptitude. At 13, Musk developed his first video game, Blastar, which he sold to PC and Office Technology magazine. This marked the beginning of his addiction to video games and his lifelong connection to the world of technology and entrepreneurship. However, his dream of creating a video game arcade with his cousins came to a halt when they faced the obstacle of obtaining city permits due to being under 18. Chapter 5: Escape Velocity. In the dark corners of Elon Musk's childhood, there lurked a figure who haunted his every move: his father, Errol. This man possessed an unpredictable and volatile nature, capable of switching from jolly to malevolent in mere seconds. Elon and his siblings had become accustomed to enduring Errol's occasional outbursts of verbal abuse and his descent into dark fantasies and conspiracies. It was as if Errol had two distinct personalities, a Jekyll and Hyde combination that left a lasting impact on Elon's psyche. The household became a minefield of uncertainty, with visits from their cousins becoming a dreaded event. One never knew what version of Errol they would encounter, the whimsical and carefree individual or the wrathful and sadistic one. Peter Rive, Elon's cousin, recalls the surreal incidents that unfolded within the confines of their home. Errol's erratic behavior ranged from impulsive acts, such as buying new motorcycles, to subjecting them to humiliating tasks like cleaning toilets with toothbrushes. Elon's own demeanor began to mirror this roller coaster of emotions, leaving those around him walking on eggshells, never knowing when his own mood swings would emerge. Errol's paranoia and obsession manifested in strange ways. Peter recalls finding him at the kitchen table, dressed only in his underwear, spinning a plastic roulette wheel while attempting to determine if microwaves could influence its outcome. Elon, always the rational thinker, sought to convince his father of the futility of his endeavors by researching roulette strategies and even creating a simulation program on his computer. However, Errol believed he had unlocked the secrets of probability and randomness, confident he had discovered the elusive connection between chance and the Fibonacci sequence. His proclamations veer into the realm of witchcraft, leaving Elon bewildered by his transformation from a skilled engineer to a believer in pseudoscience. Errol's web of delusions extended beyond his personal life, infecting his children's perception of reality. He would make baseless claims, asserting that in the United States, the president was considered divine and immune from criticism. Other times, he would spin elaborate tales that cast himself as either the hero or victim, skillfully persuading his children to question their own grasp of what was true. Elon's ex-wife, Justine, recounts the moments she glimpsed Errol's traits in Elon's behavior, prompting her to utter the warning, "You're turning into your father." That Elon possessed a crucial distinction from his father, a determination to prevail and overcome the darkness within him. In order to escape the suffocating environment of South Africa, Elon came to a pivotal realization. He needed to leave. Confronting his parents, Elon attempted to convince them to move to the United States with him and his siblings. Met with disinterest, he decided to forge his own path and embark on a one-way journey alone. Elon's quest for freedom led him to explore various avenues, including seeking U.S. citizenship through his maternal grandfather. When that plan failed, he set his sights on Canada as a potential stepping stone to ultimately reach the United States. With stoic determination, Elon obtained Canadian passports for himself, his mother, and siblings. The day of his departure loomed near, and he sat down for a final dinner with his father and siblings at Cynthia's, Pretoria's finest restaurant. Errol, filled with contempt, derided him, saying, "You'll never be successful. You'll be back in a few months." In Errol's distorted narrative, he claims to have planted the seed of Elon's desire to study in America. According to him, Elon's depression drove him to suggest the idea of studying abroad, which Elon eagerly embraced. However, Elon refutes this fantasy, presenting evidence that he had already secured his Canadian passport and purchased his airline ticket, actions that predated Errol's supposed intervention. Chapter 6: Canada. In 1989, Elon Musk found himself in a new land, armed with only a few $1,000s and a list of unfamiliar relatives. Contrary to popular belief, he did not arrive in North America adorned with riches. His father, Errol, had perpetuated myths suggesting otherwise, but the reality was far from glamorous. When Elon left South Africa, his father provided him with $2,000 in traveler's checks, while his mother cashed out a stock account, adding another $2,000 to his limited funds. Beyond these meager resources, he possessed a mere list of his mother's relatives, a connection he hoped to establish. Arriving in Montreal, Elon planned to contact his mother's uncle. However, he soon discovered that his uncle had left the city. Uncertain of his next move, he sought refuge in a youth hostel, sharing a room with 5 strangers. Growing up in South Africa, Elon had developed a deep mistrust of others due to the prevalence of crime and violence. He initially slept atop his backpack, fearing that everyone around him might be a potential threat. As he wandered the city, he marveled at the absence of bars on windows, a stark contrast to his previous experiences. After a week in Montreal, Elon purchased a Greyhound Discovery Pass that granted him bus travel across Canada for 6 months. He decided to head towards Saskatchewan, where his second cousin, Mark Toulon, resided. The journey encompassed over 1,700 miles from Montreal, with bus stops at various hamlets along the way. In a stroke of unfortunate luck, Elon briefly disembarked the bus to grab lunch, only to realize that the bus had left without him, taking his suitcase containing traveler's checks and clothes. Left with nothing but a knapsack filled with books, Elon experienced the frustration of navigating the arduous process of replacing his traveler's checks, providing him a glimpse into the flaws of the financial payment system. Upon reaching the town near his cousin's farm, Elon managed to find a phone and called to announce his arrival. Mark, accompanied by his father, welcomed Elon and treated him to a celebratory dinner at a local Sizzler steakhouse. They invited him to stay at their wheat farm, where Elon immersed himself in manual labor, from cleaning grain bins to assisting in raising a barn. It was on this farm that he celebrated his 18th birthday, surrounded by his newfound family and a cake bearing the message "Happy Birthday, Elon" written in chocolate icing. Eager to explore more of Canada, Elon boarded another bus, this time bound for Vancouver, over 1,000 miles away. There, he sought shelter with his mother's half-brother and ventured into the labor market in search of employment. In an employment office, Elon discovered that most available jobs paid meager wages of $5 per hour. However, one undesirable task offered a higher wage of $18 per hour, cleaning out the boilers in a lumber mill. This hazardous job required donning a hazmat suit and crawling through narrow tunnels while shoveling out stubbornly caked lime residue. It was as if Elon had stumbled into a dark and dystopian world, in which the clanging sound of jackhammers reverberated through the pipes. While Elon was navigating a challenging existence in Vancouver, his mother, Mae Musk, made her own decision to move from South Africa to Canada. In search of a suitable location for her family's new home, she scouted various cities, ultimately deciding that Toronto was the most viable option. They promptly sold their house and possessions in South Africa, joining her mother, Tosca, in Toronto. Elon, following in their footsteps, made the move as well, leaving behind his brother Kimball, who remained in South Africa to complete his final year of high school. Initially, the family of three squeezed into a one-bedroom apartment, with Elon occupying the couch while Tosca and Mae shared a bed. Lacking financial means, Mae became overwhelmed with despair when she accidentally spilled milk, as she could not afford to buy more. Determined to improve their situation, Tosca secured a job at a hamburger joint. Elon became an intern at Microsoft's Toronto office, and Mae juggled multiple jobs as a university worker, a model, and a diet consultant. Mae's relentless work schedule left her with little time for her children, causing her to be absent from home for extended periods. After a few months of relentless effort, the family's financial situation began to improve. They upgraded to a rent-controlled three-bedroom apartment, though it required some renovation. Mae insisted that Elon tear down the dated felt wallpaper, and together they purchased a new, thicker carpet for $300 instead of the originally planned $200 as they anticipated the arrival of Kimball and their cousin, Peter. Acquiring a computer became their second significant purchase, providing Elon with a much-needed outlet for his lonely existence in Toronto. In an attempt to forge a social life, Elon would accompany Tosca when she went out with friends, but she forced him to stay 10 feet behind them. He would carry and read a book whenever they entered clubs or parties. Chapter 7: Queens. As Elon Musk begins his college journey at Queen's University, he faces a crucial decision: finding a balance between his academic pursuits and a vibrant social life. Considering universities within an easy drive from Toronto, Musk narrows down his choices to Waterloo and Queen's. While Waterloo may offer a better engineering program, Musk is drawn to Queen's for its social appeal. He yearns for a social life and desires to be surrounded by more than just a bunch of dudes. So, in the fall of 1990, he enrolls at Queen's. Once there, Musk finds himself placed on the international floor of one of the dorms. It is here that he meets Naved Farooq, a student who becomes his first real and lasting friend outside of his family. The duo quickly forms a strong bond over shared interests in computer and board games, obscure history, and science fiction. For Musk, Queen's becomes not just a place of education, but a haven where he is socially accepted and can truly be himself. Academically, Musk excels in courses such as business, economics, calculus, and computer programming, earning top grades. However, he struggles in accounting, Spanish, and industrial relations, obtaining B's. Nonetheless, he cherishes the collaborative nature of his studies, as it hones his ability to work with intelligent individuals and achieve common goals. But it's not just academics that capture Musk's attention at Queen's. Late-night philosophical discussions and the world of board and computer games become his true passion. Strategy games, with their high-level planning, tactical thinking, and resource management, captivate his imagination. Whether it's negotiating and making threats to secure victory in diplomacy or immersing himself in the world-building strategy of Civilization and Warcraft, Musk thrives on the complexity and challenge these games provide. Even within his studies, Musk finds himself drawn to strategic thinking. In one class, a simulation game allows teams to compete in growing a business, making decisions on pricing, advertising, and research. Musk goes a step further, reverse engineering the game's logic to always secure victory. Outside of the academic realm, Musk and his brother Kimball embark on another venture, reaching out to interesting individuals featured in the newspaper. One of their chosen contacts is Peter Nicholson, an executive at Scotiabank, who has a background in engineering, physics, and math. Nicholson and Musk bond over their discussions on philosophy, physics, and even space travel. While working at Scotiabank, Musk devises a potentially lucrative plan involving Latin American debt. However, his idea is shut down by the bank, leaving Musk questioning the intelligence and audacity of the financial industry. This experience crystallizes his aversion to working for others and strengthens his belief in his own capabilities. Thank you for spending time reading with me. If you enjoyed this summary, consider taking a moment and pressing the like button. Get notified when the next episode comes out by subscribing and hitting the notification icon.